I thought I was an only child raised by a single mother. But one document changed everything I thought I knew about her. And about myself. My name is Iris Coleman, and the moment I unfolded that birth certificate, a shiver ran down my spine. It was a muggy August evening in 2025, the Spanish moss draping the ancient oaks of Savannah, Georgia, where I'd returned to settle my mother's estate after her passing from cancer 6 months ago at 58. The air carried the faint scent of magnolias, a nostalgic echo of my childhood spent trailing Grace through the historic district's cobblestone streets. I was 30, a practical woman with a flair for baking and a modest bakery, Southern Sweets, earning $4,000 monthly from online pie sales and local orders. My mother, Grace, had raised me alone, her stories of my father sparse, only that he'd left before I was born, a shadow she never illuminated. The attic was a labyrinth of memories, yellowed recipe cards scribbled with her elegant hand, her faded sundresses hanging like ghosts, the creak of floorboards underfoot, when I found it tucked in a tin box beneath a stack of quilts. My birth certificate, its edges frayed, listing a co-mother named Margaret Hale. The discovery felt like a betrayal wrapped in nostalgia. That night, alone in her kitchen, the hum of cicadas seeping through the open window, I stared at the name under the dim glow of a lantern, my fingers trembling as I traced the ink. A plan began to form, fueled by a mix of curiosity and dread. The truth it hinted at would rewrite my identity. The revelation was a silent storm. Grace had been my rock, her laughter filling our tiny kitchen as we kneaded dough, her gentle hands guiding mine through the art of perfecting a pecan pie crust, her tales of Savannah's past weaving a tapestry of our bond. She'd spoken of her youth with a wistful smile, recounting dances at the old cotton exchange, but my father's absence was a quiet ache, a void she filled with silence rather than stories. His leaving, she'd said, was a choice she made for us, a cryptic line I'd never questioned until now. The birth certificate, dated 1995, listed Grace Coleman as my mother and Margaret Hale as a second parent, a detail that shattered the narrative I'd lived. Was Margaret my father disguised by some legal loophole? A guardian who'd shaped my early years? Or something more complex, a secret partnership my mother had buried? My stomach churned with a cocktail of confusion and betrayal. The kitchen table, scarred from years of rolling pins and spilled batter, became my anchor as I reread the document, the weight of her omission pressing down. The pain sparked a resolve. I'd uncover the truth, reclaim my roots, and perhaps understand the woman who'd shielded me from this shadow. I took the certificate to my bakery office, a cozy space above Southern Sweets filled with the scent of cinnamon and the clatter of cooling racks, managing my business with renewed purpose. By September 2025, I'd saved $11,000 from careful budgeting, my focus sharpening with each clue I chased. The journey was exhausting. I balanced baking and research, sleeping 5 hours a night, my hands dusted with flour and nicked by the edges of old papers. The bakery hummed with activity, customers lining up for my signature sweet potato pie, delivery vans rumbling down the narrow streets, while I stole moments to pore over records. I'd built Southern Sweets from a home kitchen, selling pies online to foodies across the South, now valued at $85,000 with a loyal following. The secret shaped a strategy. I'd trace Margaret, understand my origins, and honor my mother's silence, even if it meant dismantling the life she'd crafted for me. I contacted a local historian, Lena Brooks, costing $2,200 for her expertise, my savings hitting $13,000 by October 2025. I worked 50-hour weeks, sifting through Savannah's archives between kneading dough and frosting cakes, earning a $1,600 bonus from a catering gig for a local wedding, my determination solidifying with every late-night discovery. Decoding the certificate took care and patience. The document noted Margaret Hale, 35 in 1995, with an address in Savannah's Victorian district, a neighborhood of gingerbread trim and hidden courtyards. I hired Lena, her knowledge of local history a beacon, and gathered evidence. A faded black and white photo of Grace with a woman resembling Margaret, their smiles frozen in a moment of shared joy. A bank statement with Margaret's name linked to my mother's account, and cryptic journal entries about her choice, and a life I couldn't keep. Each find felt like peeling back a layer of my mother's soul, revealing a woman I'd never fully known. My savings rose to $16,000, and I invested $3,800 in archival access to dig deeper into Savannah's 1990s records, projecting $7,000 returns to offset the cost. I visited the county clerk's office on October 15, 2025, the building's musty air thick with history, poring over marriage and adoption records under flickering fluorescent lights. A clerk, a kindly older man with wire-rimmed glasses, sensing my urgency, offered assistance, pulling dusty ledgers from the shelves, but found no legal tie between Grace and Margaret beyond the certificate. Doubts crept in. Would this reveal a pain I wasn't ready for? Would Margaret still be alive, or had time erased her from my reach? The uncertainty gnawed at me, but I pressed on, sketching a family timeline on a bakery napkin, the ink smudging with butter stains, a blend of my two worlds. The confrontation brewed. I invited Lena to my bakery on October 20, 2025, the aroma of freshly baked cornbread filling the air, my heart pounding with anticipation. She arrived, her satchel brimming with files, her presence a steadying force amid my swirling thoughts. I spread the certificate across the wooden counter, the photo trembling in my hands, the journal snippet a silent witness. Margaret might be more than a guardian, Lena said, her voice measured as she adjusted her glasses. Possibly a partner or a biological tie. Savannah had its share of unconventional arrangements back then. The idea of a hidden partnership, or worse, a suppressed parentage, sent a jolt through me. I called a family friend, Aunt May, a stout woman who'd been Grace's confidant, demanding clarity. She visited that afternoon, her face pale under the bakery's warm lights, the certificate in my hands as I confronted her. Grace hid it to protect you, she whispered, her voice cracking. Margaret was involved, deeply. It was a love she couldn't admit. The truth was raw, a connection hinted at, yet the full picture remained elusive, leaving me with more questions than answers. The shift was unsettling. I expanded my research, securing a $5,500 contract with a food magazine for a feature on Southern baking traditions, my savings climbing to $19,000 as I poured my emotions into the work. My career valuation hit $95,000, the bakery's reputation growing with each pie sold, but the mystery consumed my thoughts, weaving itself into every recipe I crafted. Aunt May called, her tone heavy, urging me to let the past lie, but I hung up, her warning a barrier I couldn't yet respect. Southern Sweets thrived, booking $2,200 in holiday orders as the season approached, the shop alive with the clink of coffee cups and the chatter of loyal customers. My focus turned to Margaret, launching a Sweet Roots blog to trace her lineage, earning $1,300 in donations from curious readers. But tension arose. A local baker, Carla Dunn, began questioning my inquiries, her tone sharp during a market stall encounter, her pecan pie recipe suspiciously similar to mine. I uncovered her tie to Margaret, old business rivals from the early 2000s, a feud Grace had hinted at, costing me a $2,700 order when Carla spread rumors of my unoriginal flavors. The setback stung, but the real blow came when a sudden storm, a late summer deluge common to Savannah, flooded my bakery's backroom, soaking flour sacks and delaying shipments. Water pooled around the ovens, the air thick with mildew, forcing me to close for a day. I tensed. Was this Carla's doing, a calculated move to undermine me, or merely nature's wrath? The uncertainty fueled my resolve. Standing amid the damp chaos, the birth certificate in hand, I felt my mother's legacy intertwined with this new struggle, and a growing uncertainty about what lay ahead. What was next? The flooded backroom and Carla Dunn's snide remarks echoed in my mind as I stood in my Savannah bakery, the Spanish moss outside swaying in the aftermath of the storm. The thrill of uncovering the birth certificate hinting at Margaret Hale's role in my origins, backed by the Sweet Roots blog, felt like a fragile victory against this mounting pressure. My fingers brushed the damp flour sacks, the unknown connection to Margaret a stark contrast to the chaos around me. The police report on the flood damage was inconclusive, Lena Brooks's research a flickering hope. Was Carla behind this, leveraging her rivalry to sabotage me? Or was it the storm's cruel timing amplifying my doubts? My pulse raced, but I steadied myself. The blog earned $1,500 monthly, my savings at $19,000, and Southern Sweets thrived with $2,500 monthly from holiday orders. Yet the uncertainty hinted at a deeper struggle. I saved the soaked certificate, determined to press on, and called Lena, her voice a calming presence. "Keep seeking," she said. "We'll uncover it together." I nodded, plotting my next step. The next morning, I met Lena at a quiet cafe near Forsyth Park, the scent of brewing coffee mingling with my resolve. Her sharp eyes scanned the damaged bakery photo and Margaret's old bank statement. "This feels personal," she said, her pen poised over her notes. "Expand your reach and protect your work. Margaret's story is the key." I agreed, my mind racing. I contacted local archivists, launching a Family Layers campaign to crowdsource Margaret's past, costing $4,500 and dipping my savings to $14,500. At my bakery office, I briefed my team, 2 bakers, a social media assistant. In the kitchen, the air warm with the hum of ovens. "We're challenged," I explained, showing the evidence. Their faces set with determination. They committed to the cause. My business valuation hit $110,000, but the stakes rose with every batch. My search intensified. I expanded Southern Sweets, securing a $6,500 contract with a Savannah hotel for custom desserts, and invested $5,200 in genealogical DNA testing, projecting $10,000 returns. My savings climbed to $16,000, and I upgraded my office with a waterproof safe for records, working 16-hour days to decode clues amid the bakery's bustle. Aunt May called, her voice heavy with guilt, urging me to stop, but I hung up, her plea a barrier to my truth. The hotel deal added $3,000 monthly, boosting my confidence. Lena's update unsettled me. Carla had been spotted near my shop, her recipes now featuring my signature twists, and her rivalry with Margaret's legacy fueled her interference. "She might be deflecting," Lena said. "Margaret could have been a threat to her business too." The rivalry flickered in my mind, a puzzle I couldn't piece together. The pressure escalated a week later. A delivery arrived, spoiled ingredients, a note from Carla. "Stick to baking, not digging." No threat, just a jab. My stomach tightened. I called Lena, who suggested a public taste-off to expose Carla's mimicry. I reinforced the bakery, spending $2,800 on flood barriers, and hired a part-time guard, a burly man named Tom. The police logged the delivery, Carla's handwriting, but no legal action, while Lena traced her supplier ties, hinting at a grudge. Paranoia crept in, every creak a potential intruder, yet I refused to back down. I leveraged the blog's buzz, launching a Sweet Secrets live demo series that booked $3,500, lifting my income. Carla confronted me, calling from her shop, her voice smug. "Iris, you're stirring trouble," she taunted. "Drop the history lesson." I hung up, but curiosity gnawed. Lena dug deeper, uncovering Carla's past partnership with Margaret, dissolved in a bitter 2001 dispute over a recipe book. "She's guarding her own secrets," Lena warned. I faced Carla at the farmer's market, Tom nearby. "Why copy me?" I demanded. She smirked. "Margaret's ghost haunts us both." I left, her words a riddle, but the dispute hinted at a shared past. I mounted a counteroffensive. With Lena's help, I streamed the demo, showcasing my original recipes against Carla's, drawing 900 viewers. I boosted my research, securing a $9,000 contract with a culinary institute, pushing my valuation to $130,000. The institute's team monitored my shop, easing my nerves. But tension mounted. A demo was disrupted. Power outage, Carla's laughter in the crowd. The police noted it, but proof was thin. I called Lena, who suggested a family angle given Aunt May's hints. The stream gained traction. I compiled evidence. Lena's reports, Carla's note, market footage, working late to refine it, my kitchen aglow with oven light. Carla offered a $8,000 truce to end the demos. "Let's bake in peace," she pressed over a tense call. "No," I told Lena. "I want my truth." The next live event arrived, a packed virtual hall. Carla scowled as I unveiled a unique tart, her copies exposed. The chat buzzed, viewers rallied, and Carla's stall lost buzz. As I signed off, she muttered, "You'll regret this." That night, a storm brewed again, rattling the windows. No message, but a soaked letter from Aunt May slid under the door. "Margaret's alive. Be careful." I froze. Who else knew? Carla's network? My mother's past? The victory felt fragile. A new mystery unfolding. I called Lena, who promised deeper dives. My roots were surfacing, but the Tempest was close. The soaked letter from Aunt May and the rattling storm windows haunted me as I stood in my Savannah bakery, the Spanish moss swaying wildly outside in the Tempest's wake. The triumph of uncovering the birth certificate hinting at Margaret Hale's role, bolstered by the Sweet Secrets demo, felt like a fleeting calm before a brewing storm. My breath caught as I reread the note. Margaret's alive. Be careful. The unknown depth of my mother's secret, a stark contrast to the bakery's warm chaos. The police inquiry into Carla Dunn's interference had stalled. Lena Brooks's research a fragile thread. Who else knew Margaret's story? Carla's allies? My mother's hidden circle? I dialed Lena, my voice steady despite the unease. Find her, I said. This is bigger than I thought. She promised relentless pursuit, her tone firm. The truth was mine. Carla's mimicry exposed, my craft celebrated, but danger loomed with every knead of dough. The next day, I met Lena at a tucked-away library in Savannah's historic district, the scent of aged paper grounding me amid the storm's aftermath. Her furrowed brow studied the letter and demo footage. This is layered resistance, she said, her fingers tracing Margaret's name. Go public with the full story and secure your ground. Margaret's the linchpin. I nodded, my mind racing. I contacted genealogy forums, planning a roots reveal event to consolidate clues, costing $8,000 and dipping my savings to $8,000. At the bakery, I briefed my team, 3 bakers, a livestream host. In the kitchen, the air thick with the aroma of rising bread. We're tested, I explained, showing the evidence. Their faces hardened, but they rallied, vowing support. My business earned $8,000 monthly, a testament to my rise, but peril grew. I spent $9,500 on stormproofing, reinforced windows and pumps, reducing my savings to negative $1,500, leaning on a small loan. Safety became my fortress. Lena's first update came that evening. She traced Margaret to a nursing home record, hinting at a reclusive life after a 2001 fallout with Carla. Grace and Margaret were partners, Lena said. The certificate reflects a co-parenting pact hidden due to social stigma. I shared it with my team, who began outreach to adoption advocates. Meanwhile, I dove into work, launching a Savannah Sweets cookbook series, booking $18,000 and earning $10,000. My savings rose to $8,500 with the loan, my career valuation reaching $180,000. Aunt May called, tearful about Margaret's isolation, but I hung up, her guilt a weight. The secret cast a shadow over my success. A sudden flood hit days later, water seeping into the kitchen, ruining a week's stock. No note, just nature's fury. The police logged it as weather-related, but I suspected Carla's influence. Her smirk at the market lingered. I called Lena, who suggested a live reveal to pressure the truth. I agreed, drafting a statement. From certificate shock to truth seeker, I face a past's echoes. I won't stop. The event, held virtually, drew 3,500 attendees. My voice quivered as I presented the certificate and Margaret's photo, but I stood tall. The story broke. Baker uncovers family pact, boosting my bookings to $20,000 monthly, though the risk heightened. Lena's next report unveiled depth. She'd found Margaret's 2001 legal notice, dissolving a business with Carla over a disputed recipe, tied to Grace's exit. Your father might be a construct, Lena said. Margaret raised you with Grace. I tensed, the stakes soaring. I rallied the event community, forming a sweet alliance to counter Carla's narrative, strengthening my base. I fortified the bakery, adding $7,000 in flood defenses and an 8th guard. My savings dipped to $1,500, but the team's spirit held. I trained them in public storytelling, turning the shop into a hub. The sabotage probe gained traction. My team uncovered Carla's old ads, mimicking my pies, costing me $8,000 in lost sales. I reported it to the police, who questioned her suppliers, seizing records. Aunt May visited, confessing, Grace loved Margaret, but society forced silence. I passed it to Lena, adding family pressure. Carla's influence waned, losing 55% of her market. Victory reshaped my world. My savings hit $40,000 with new contracts, $22,000 monthly from the cookbook, $12,000 from a festival deal. My career valuation soared to $240,000. I expanded the bakery into a community kitchen, its ovens a sanctuary after months of struggle. I hosted a team feast, toasting with sweet tea under strung lights. But peace faltered when a legal notice arrived. Carla's attorney warning of a defamation claim if I pursued Margaret. No court, just pressure. I froze. Lena traced it to a dead-end firm. I hired a consultant, spending $10,000 to navigate it. The challenge persisted. A rival stall outsold mine at a fair. Carla's doing, whispers spreading. My blog was hacked, a post altered to mock my search. The police increased patrols, but leads lagged. I channeled resolve into work, launching a Heritage Bakes Fund, $50,000, turning pain into purpose. The festival contract grew to $14,000 monthly. I drafted the cookbook, Baked Truths, working late to weave my story. Yet the mastermind eluded me. One afternoon, reviewing footage, a figure lingered near the bakery, too blurred to identify. Lena enhanced it, suggesting Carla's aid, possibly with Margaret's past ties. The police mapped her network, but the source remained a ghost. I added $9,000 in security. My savings stabilized at $45,000, but the vigilance cost pressed. Standing in the kitchen, the oaks aglow, I felt a bittersweet win. Margaret was near, Carla weakened, but the claim loomed. Was it Carla's revenge? The family echo? I rolled dough, the dusk deepening, but that figure's presence lingered. What was next? Hey Revenge Tempest fans. Iris's journey from certificate shock to family truth is unforgettable. Loved it? Smash that subscribe button and join our crew. Drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from.